Okay, so this is gonna sound a bit manic, but I got this Vincent Van Gogh Rubik's Cube for my birthday. I almost said Christmas, but it's not Christmas yet. It was my birthday. And I knew how to solve it, but the problem was I can solve Rubik's Cubes. But what I didn't know how to do was get it so that the middle pieces were lined up in the right orientation. Right? Because these middle pieces on each face, there are 6 faces on a cube. They're the pieces on the Rubik's Cube that don't change orientation with respect to one another. So if I were to mess this up or twist them around a bunch, right? Doesn't matter how I twisted it, but the blue, the red, and the white would always be in this orientation. The centerpieces would always be in that orientation, right? And so as you can see, the Rubik's Cube symbol, when it's upright, the green and the orange are down. And I don't know how many years ago it was. I think it was 2007. I think it was 2006. I can't remember. Yeah, it was Christmas 2006 that I got my first Rubik's Cube. And I think it might have been later in 2007 when I was playing around with it that I realized you could change the orientation of the middle piece by doing just playing around with it. I was playing around with it for hours and hours, probably each day, because I'm a bit of a nerd. And it annoyed me that this Rubik's Cube wasn't facing the blue, like it wasn't lining up with the blue and red on the bottom. So I wanted to face up that way, and I found a way to do it. And let's see if I can. I'm repping my work here. How do I? Yeah, I'll just do it right here. Can you even see that? It's not going to make any sense to anybody that doesn't know how to do this, but basically, it's a couple of moves to get it so that this pattern here comes into view, and then something like that. I don't know how to describe it. And see, the orientation of the centerpiece has changed so that it's now upright with the blue and the red on the bottom. The thing is, because all the other ones don't have anything to distinguish up from down and left from right, you don't know the orientation of the centerpieces, so it doesn't matter. On this Vincent Van Gogh Rubik's Cube, the orientation matters because it's artwork and it's not symmetrical along those axes. So I could solve. I started with the first image here of self-portrait of Vincent Van Gogh. That's who it is, right? I'm not being stupid. Yeah, it's Vincent Van Gogh. Okay, wait. Am I saying the last name right? Gogh? Vincent Van Gogh. I'm pretty sure it's Gogh because I've heard puns about it. Yeah. Wordplay. Anyway, I can do solving the first face. You have control over the orientation of the center one, but when you start solving other sides, you don't have as much control with the method I use. So it was a big pain, and I was able to solve the Rubik's Cube properly somehow, so that only this image and this image, the centerpieces were rotated 90 degrees. Yeah, they were both rotated 90 degrees counterclockwise or something like that. They're both askew, the same number of rotations, or the same unit of 90-degree rotations in the same direction, so it was either clockwise or counterclockwise. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to get it so that these two sides, or these two centerpieces, these two centerpieces will rotate the way they're supposed to. And so I tried the trick I just showed you, or the algorithm I guess you would call it. I just showed you on this, and it didn't work. Because I did it a bunch of times, and all it did, it was rotating them. Jeez. I can't answer a call right now, Brennan. I'm sorry. I'll call you back. This is a very important Rubik's Cube video, and I can't take calls right now. I'm in a very important video. So that algorithm didn't work, or at least it wasn't working. I did it a bunch of times, and it just kept... What I realized was that since I'm rotating this 180 degrees each time, the only thing would happen was it would change the orientation, either keep it the same or rotate it 180 degrees, and so it wouldn't do a 90-degree turn that I needed. Does that make any sense? It does to me. And so the two centerpieces were basically going from maybe this orientation to this orientation. Oh, that's not good. Going from up to down, and then down to up. That's all they were doing. They were each going like this, right? This is a painful video. I don't know if anyone's even going to watch this shit. But I figured out it was... I was thinking about the problem, and it was another algorithm I was just playing around with years ago, where if you rotate, let's say you can only rotate the blue face and the red face of the cube. So what I did, I started by rotating the blue face counterclockwise and then the red face counterclockwise, except I was doing it starting with this and then rotating this. So boop, 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 boop. And I did that, I don't know how many rotations it took. It felt like hundreds. But then I did it all, and it's now completely solved. So I have officially solved the Vincent Van Gogh Rubik's Cube. And I can display it proudly in this little Rubik's Cube case somewhere in my home. There we go. Puzzles. Yay. Algorithms. Yay. Now, I also have another Rubik's Cube somewhere that I had the exact same problem with this Vincent Van Gogh one that I wasn't able to figure out, because it wasn't artwork, but it had numbers on it. So it looked like it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on each one. So it was basically like this, except with numbers. And I couldn't figure out the orientation because the center one would be a 5. And 5 isn't symmetrical about either of its axes. And so it would always have to be a certain orientation. So I ran into the same problem that I ran into with this one. It'd be nice if the center number were, say, a circle like an O or a 0 or something, but it wasn't. So now I might go solve that one. Yeah, I might go try to solve that one. Do I even have it? Is it readily available? What? It's already solved. I thought I didn't solve it, but it's already done. So, as you can see, these ones are all in the same direction. The top one's like that, and the bottom one's the opposite of that. So, the bottom one's upright. Wait, the bottom one is... If the bottom one... Oh. This one goes up that way, and this one goes up this way. Right? No. If the bottom one's up, then the top one is upside down. Ugh, this is confusing to explain. I am not good at explaining this. This is my first time talking about this kind of crap in a video. It's rough. It's really rough because it's confusing, and I'm not doing it justice, and I'm not using any sort of proper terminology. But they're solved, all of them. And I got a little 2x2 one, which is more difficult to solve than you would think. And I also have another older one of this that is worn down extremely because I would solve it so many times. Like, look at this thing. It is in tatters, man. And I don't know why I'd always solve the white face first, but like you can just tell if you compare it. One of them looks brand spanking new almost, and of course, as you can see, the Rubik's Cube logo is oriented the same way because maybe I have OCD. Who knows? And here's the little 2x2 one I have. And the Rubik's Cube logo isn't oriented the same way. What's annoying is that the red and the orange look almost the exact same, so that was difficult. Anyway, Rubik's Cube is down this way. Up is that way. But it's not the same. It's not the same arrangement of colors as on the original cube or whatever you would call it. Yeah, that's the conundrum I was facing, and I solved it. So I'm a happy Mitch at almost 10:30 at night. Woo! This is a 12-minute video. Woo! All right. Peace.